Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mind Clash Podcast, episode 24 Exploring New Horizons. No, Exploring New D Scanners. Exploring New Sexualities. It's just one of those nights. Love's in the air. Seems like we started just yesterday. We're about 6 months away from getting good, too. Extra stout. Oh, yeah. Just kick in the door. So alpacas need the love. It's a well loved term around here too. Ah, jeez.
All right, see if we can get a verification on this.
I think I fixed it. I figured this out last week. We're gonna have to redo intros, but fuck it.
And there goes all our viewers.
Ah,
Fuck these guys, bunch of amateurs.
Hey, we are professionals.
Okay, yeah, Rowan in chat says you can hear me now. So let's do this over again. 5, 4. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Kael Decadence, and you are listening / watching the Mind Clash podcast. We're looking at episode number 24. And what did you call that earlier, Meredudd?
The exploration of new horizons.
And the exploitation of new sexualities or something.
No, it was the exploration of new sexualities.
Same. Yeah. So I'm Kael Decadence. I've got Meredudd. We've got a few guests. Gentleman Gamer is at the top.
hello guys, I'm Gentleman Gamer. I run a YouTube channel. I'm an Arco John in game, so I do a lot of exploration. I do that pretty much for fun and disc making, and for corp side, I'm in Brave. So I've been doing a lot of moving lately. And that's pretty much me.
Nicely done. And of course, number one fan. You want to say you're here? I'm sure.
My name is Magnus Kael. My character is in Army of New Eden in TSOC, and I'm glad to be here.
Nice, thanks. And reload. Let's get that intro one more time.
Hey everybody, I'm Reload. I make a lot of alpaca guides for EVE Online on my YouTube channel, and I also stream once a week.
Cool. So you are actually the third place winner of the. Damn, I keep forgetting the name. It's the My Eve Story competition.
Yes, Sam, it's quite an honor. I didn't expect to win when I first put in my video. I just wanted to tell my story, but it's good to be on that board.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, so as the title suggests, we're going to be talking exploration, which is why we got some explorers in here. For those of you who watched the wonderful 07 show yesterday, they mentioned that they're going to be doing some revamping of the exploration, not the exploration, but the scanning. So scanning is going to be a little bit different, a little bit better. Well, not different, just better, tweaked. And yeah, a lot of things came out on the roadmap. If we want to go over those real quick,
We should, yes.
we should. So yesterday, 07 show, they said that they will have a roadmap update at FanFest. Good for us. I'm not going to be there, but I'll watch it. A lot of FanFest hype, and they're asking for an open call for FanFest presenters. Words are hard tonight. So if you're going to FanFest and you want to do some sort of presentation, go ahead and hit them up at EveTV at ccpgames.com. So that'll be cool.
They're definitely looking for any content expert. So if you think you're a content expert in industry, wormholes, being a ganker, being the best ammo station container builder and distributor in LowSec, hit them up.
Yeah. So Meredudd, did you put that in there about the lore storyline to run up until FanFest?
I did, yes.
I thought I heard something about. I wasn't paying too much of attention because I was actually working outside during the show, but I do know that they're gonna have places that you can meet in game during FanFest, right? That'll like coincide with the lore. Is that kind of what's happening?
Well, remember during the Purity of the Throne event and the Imar trials, they had the Amar beacon with the Titan and the coronation kind of
Yeah.
presentation fleet.
Yeah.
So I assume they'd go that direction again with maybe something similar to that.
Nice. Yeah. If it's anything based off this lore that I just read this afternoon, that ought to be pretty good. So some other cool, fun things came out of that 07 show. They're going to have a Coromont redesign, a new star animation. Great, cool. We're going to have some new animations on that. Also, apparently the temperate worlds, from what I understand, were not spinning because of Dust 514. And now that Dust 514 has been dead for, almost a year, I guess they'll go ahead and turn those fuckers back on.
Wait, they weren't spinning?
Yep.
I had not noticed that.
Honest to God, I wouldn't have noticed anyways until they said something. So tomorrow,
Was there like a
I guess
reason
you
for
can
that
see.
though?
It had to do with the orbital bombardments. I guess if it was spinning and they did an orbital bombardment, physics. I don't
Yeah,
know.
all the guys would have fell off.
It makes sense.
I mean, physics is not CCP's strong suit.
I go through planets, so
Exactly. Oh man. But yeah, and then there's gonna be a Chimera redesign, which is cool if you like chimeras. And what is this you put on there, Meredudd? Those now you know segments.
Those are pretty cool.
I thought they were pretty amusing. Like, now you know, learning about some little tiny feature in the game that you didn't know about yesterday.
Physics is.
Yeah.
What was that? I missed it.
There was two of them, right?
Yeah, there was one on dragging and dropping yourself into a ship from the inventory. And another one on when you set an autopilot in space, it shows the direction you're going to jump from star to star off in the horizon.
Wait, people didn't know that?
Well, maybe alphas don't.
I mean, you see it. It's there. You can see the path. I mean, what they think that was?
Very pretty lights.
I just kind of assume, like, I assume that, like, oh, that must be my path where I am going.
Well, I'm in Brave, so people ask me how to warp the thing sometimes. So
Yeah, you're telling me. I'm telling you. I still spend at least an hour a week, if not more, in the help channel, just talking to new players. It's rough.
We've all been there though, at one
I
point in
know.
time, right?
I know, and
yeah,
that's what.
but we don't remember though. So
That's true.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's a lot of cool stuff. What did you guys think of the '07 show? I wasn't really impressed, to be honest.
well, the '07 show they don't do like big reveals on there, so I wasn't expecting anything big. I pretty much what I expect. Little changes here, the model change, stuff like that.
Yeah. Like, I'd like to
Well,
be honest, it's almost like it's almost like what we do or what any other podcast does, but they do it every 2 months, and they kind of miss all the fun things that we love to talk about. That's why we're here. High five.
well,
Yeah,
yeah, they let
yeah,
us fill in the gaps, right?
yeah.
Always filling the gap.
I think Eve has one of the best podcasts and communities of any game I've played. So other than like ESO is pretty good, but nothing like Eve.
All right.
I think
Cool.
the cormorant changes now. It's cool. I like that. It's definitely within my grasp. I can fly those. The Chimera is nice, but I'm probably not going to fly those for a very long time. And the scanning changes was definitely interesting, especially with the telling you what your base scan strength is, your deviation, all your and telling when you go over it, telling you what skills and modules are affecting it. That's really 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 good. If I was when I started scanning, I wish I had that information.
Yeah, like I do like them. I mean, I do like the changes that they're proposing, and so from what I understand, they're not going to be in Sissy until like the end of this month, and then they're going to implement sometime in March. So it's not quite ready yet. I am looking forward to seeing it. However, at the same time, when they're like, "Oh, we're pleased to announce this," and they said that's what they'd been working on for the past few months, I was just kind of like, "Oh, that was it." Nothing
Right.
else.
Well, if when I read the minutes today, and from what I understand, a lot of the stuff they talked about in there, I got about halfway through. A lot of the stuff they're going to announce is going to be in FanFest, so they're saving all that good stuff. I think
I know it blows, man.
it
I
sucks
I
so
guess
bad.
we'll just have to keep putting on our tinfoil hats and dreaming.
If you read them, Jintan was right. There's a lot of speculative ammunition there.
Yo, Jintan, speaking of which, that dude was savage. Like, just reading the minutes, like he was like, bam, 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 question, question, question. What about this? What about that? How about this? And you're just like, whoa, dude. Like
Yeah, I noticed.
yeah, all the things that like I was wanting to know, he was on it. So thank you, Yintan, for that. I appreciate that. Real Road, what's up in chat, man?
Rilo is claiming that there's a fake reload on the podcast here.
There can only be one. Must fight the
Yeah.
sun.
We did, but spoiler alert, the video's gonna be out soon, guys.
Oh, you did? Oh,
shit.
nice. I can't wait.
Yo, when are we gonna get Real Road on this damn show?
We'll have to talk to the agents.
Oh, have his people call my people. Aren't you my people?
Yeah.
I know your people.
All right. Cool. So, moving squarely along, there's an update tomorrow. So
Yes,
The
tomorrow,
Gala.
Yeah, the
tomorrow's
Gala.
Valentine's Day, and the Gala's coming out. So, from what was described in the minutes, CCP said that the Guardians Gala is quite simple, a single room, quick encounter offering Galente skins, and the event will run 2 weeks and is designed to be accessible to alpha players. So it'll really be quick and dirty because all the other ones pretty much have been several rooms with several waves.
There was one of the events that only had a single room. Can't
Yeah,
remember
that
which
was
one.
the Frostline, or what was that last winter one?
Yeah, Frostline.
Frostline.
Operation Frostline, and it was I forget all the name. They all mission to one at this point.
Is that the Blood Harvest?
That was October, right?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I thought they called the new winter one something else besides Frostline. Anyways,
I don't know.
Rise of the Serpent was that one?
That was before, I think.
that was before. Anywho, so basically, what we're looking at, there's a lot of lore behind it. You're looking at the Serpentis and the Angels, if I'm correct, Guardian Angels.
Yep.
So they're basically doing some drug running operations, which is kind of weird now that the drugs are legal all across all of New Eden now. So I don't know why they have to go do a hit and they want Capsuleers to go do a hit and run in all these galas since drugs are legal now.
Yeah, I'm not
But
sure.
are they gonna be dropping drugs by any chance?
Is there gonna
Well,
be what?
the in the dev blog, they said something about dropping some sort of narcotics of some kind. I'm not sure that means boosters or just like the drugs you use, like blue pill or something. But when I tested it on CC, I didn't get any. All I got was skins. So they might be a rare drop, maybe.
Yeah, it is kind of weird that we're having that as the story, since, like I said, drugs are now legal there. So I don't know why is Concord and them wanting us to go hit them up? Seems sneaky.
Something else, maybe. You know, they don't like them for whatever reason.
Well, criminal activity is still criminal activity. They still want to squash it where
Hey.
they can find it.
Hey, they're just having a party, man.
That's
Of
very true.
course.
They're
Of
crashing
course.
it, right?
I really hope there are some drugs in there because drugs, I think, are an underutilized part of the game. That I know personally, I haven't really fully tapped into the benefits of using drugs on just an everyday fit.
Yeah, I've never used them before.
Yeah, same with me.
Oh,
Mostly
really?
flying in high sec, I've never had a chance to use them.
Well, you can now.
That's true.
Drug it up, man.
I really should try it out.
Everyone's doing it.
I mean, take
It's
the
not what the
regular.
cool kids are
You
doing,
want to be
right?
cool, right, Reload? You want to be cool?
I know, it'd be so cool, right?
The few times I've used drugs, the FC has given them to us because it helps the whole fleet as a whole. But drugs
That's
are
how
good.
that's how he gets you hooked, man.
That's how it starts. The first
first
is
is
always
free.
free. Yeah.
Try some of this crash, man.
But I'm kind of curious how, when drugs became legal in high sec, how does that affect the null-sec corps that were producing it before?
It really didn't.
I thought it was made in low sec. Is that true?
You can make them in null or low, I believe. But I mean, well, yeah, I mean, you gotta just have a pause, right? In a reactor,
A drug
drug
lab,
reactor, drug lab, and that's only in low sec and null.
Okay. All right.
The thing is, you have to source them from all over the game because the component
Yeah.
gas materials are not situated in any one particular region.
Everywhere.
We should have Commander A's on and a couple other drug producers to talk about drugs.
Yeah, we have a drug. We'll probably, we should do it. April 20th.
Perfect timing, right?
Just saying. Anyways, let's see. So along with that, tomorrow there's a new theme song. It's going to be called "Towards the Inevitable." That doesn't sound ominous at all.
Totally fine.
I haven't taken a listen to it. What?
Totally fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Yeah, everything's good. Just move it along.
Just take your drugs.
And then they're going to have House of Kador skins are going to be on sale. I'm not sure what the prices are going to be on that. And like I said, tomorrow after the update, you'll see those temperate planets spinning. So if you're curious about it now, go look at them, see if it's not spinning, and then tomorrow you'll see it spinning. Yay!
It's so weird. I never noticed them not spinning.
Yes, and like Meredudd put in the notes, Like maybe take the dust characters out of the search.
You know what? I noticed that the other day, actually yesterday, when I first started to search for somebody, and the dust characters came up, and I was thinking,
Yeah.
what's going on here?
Yeah, like why are they still there?
I found it really frustrating because there were a lot of dust characters who shared the name of a guy I was searching for. Then I realized the guy didn't spell his name how you'd think you'd spell it. I had to fucking respell it.
Well, of course, because everyone has his name, so he has to like change like a W to like something else.
It was an I to an L.
What
The
a
worst.
jerk.
What a jerk.
Well, I've been really utilizing the delivery function now that I'm in a
Oh
small
yeah, that's the
alliance.
best. That's the best.
Well,
Especially when you're like moving stuff back and forth between like several characters, you're like, oh, let me just move it on over there.
since like we only really base out of one system now, that I can just reliably deliver it to a friend, and then they'll get it in their hangar because we all use the same hangar. Whereas
Absolutely.
before, like, we were spread all over the fucking place.
Yep. So some
Welcome
other
to where
cool.
the other half lives, Meredudd.
Yeah.
The 99%.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. So they also talked about new forum software is going to be coming soon, and actually in the minutes they discussed that a little bit, and it seems like not everyone was really happy with some of the changes, and they didn't think it was quite there. So my only hope for the new forum software is, damn it, please, can we get a web friendly version?
Oh yeah.
Like seriously, like you have to like zoom in on a sentence just to read it, you know? Hold it all sideways, and you're looking like, what is that weirdo doing holding his phone sideways reading?
Yeah, it's not really optimized too well for the mobile experience, but
Yeah.
here's hoping.
Yeah. So hopefully that gets added in there. CC, please. Let's see. Before I get too much into the Chronicle thing, let's talk about Reload. Let's talk about your little video. I
Oh,
haven't
hello.
seen it. I apologize. I have not seen it yet.
Oh, no worries at all.
I can find it and put it on stream.
Yeah, if you can find it.
Yeah. Hey, sure.
Just give me a
But
second.
yeah, so somebody messaged me about this story that's happening. I actually missed the dev blog about it because it was released sometime in December when everybody was kind of away. So I put a story together. Didn't really expect to win. I just wanted to get the story out. This is what happened between my friend in real life when we played really hardcore when we first started out. But it's really humbling to experience a win, and now everybody's messaging me about it. It's kind of nice. It's kind of nice.
Nice. So what exactly was your story? Like, what was it about?
So basically, my friend and I, we didn't really have too much care in the world. We wanted to experience a bit of low sec, and we moved there. And at the time, I don't remember the exact pirate group that was there. It could be Blood Tuskers, as far as I remember. But yeah, they were harassing pretty much everybody, and we couldn't fight back. We were mostly industrial characters, and eventually we decided to troll with them a little bit. So we got some coveters, and we started cloaking up in asteroid belts, and it was hilarious trying to see them trying to find us.
Strap yourselves
Nice. That's
in
always
and
fun
hold on to your
do a little
waifu,
troll.
because this one is
That's
extra
kind of what the
spicy.
Eve motto is.
Kind of like that, yeah. So we couldn't really fight with conventional ways, but decided to really pretend like we don't know what we're doing. Still kind of like an easy kill for them and a very expensive kill at that. But they really could not find us.
Nice. Yeah, so by trade, you are an explorer, right?
Started off in industry and then moved myself more towards exploration. Mining is all good and fine, but eventually you kind of need to go and do something else.
Everybody's got a story
And
to
yeah,
leave
exploration, I
online.
would say, for the past 3 or 4 years, I was doing that primarily.
It's, mostly high sec or where at?
Wherever it takes me. Usually, I like to go from high sec straight into wormholes, and then wherever the chain takes me.
Yeah, that's one of my buddies in real life. He does that, and he just he'll set a destination and just go. Just everywhere he stops and check out as many sites as he can.
Oh yeah, that's the best way. You know what? Getting into Nausicaa is sometimes really tough. You're not gonna survive for too long. But if you find a wormhole chain straight into deep nullsec where there's nobody around, that's perfect grounds for finding those died and relic
Oh,
sites.
for sure. Yeah, absolutely. So basically, for those who might be listening that are like alpha players, uh, exploration is a rather easy path or a route for new players to get into because it's not very skill intensive to begin with. You can have a frigate, maybe even something smaller, or not smaller, but something small like a destroyer. You don't have to have a big ship. In fact, you want smaller and faster. Uh, and you're basically scanning, looking for new sites, and then warping to them, checking out what they got, and hacking either with the archaeology or what's the other one?
The just hacking.
Hacking, yeah. So
Yeah.
archaeology and hacking.
I'm ready.
So you got relic sites and data sites, right?
That's correct. Yeah, those are the two main sites that you can run as an alpha player, no problem.
Can alphas use the new that new analyzer, the one that can do both
Oh, you know
types?
what? That's a good question. I'm not sure. It's kind of prohibitive in terms of ISK, I would say. They would have to grind up a lot of sites in order to afford it, but I
Oh,
think there's
really?
no restrictions.
At the
Okay.
storyline, so I don't think so. Well, actually, no. Skill wise, they are restrictive. Like the worst one, I think the easier to get into one, I think is restrictive though.
Mm,
So it's like 20 million, which is a lot for an alpha, I think.
okay. Murdo, you said you had that video.
I am ready.
Let's do it.
Everybody's got a story in EVE Online. The very first day you pilot that spaceship, you will have a story to tell. My story takes me back to the time where my friend and I decided to start up our own corporation and move to low security space. It didn't take long for us to get acquainted with the local pirates. We would lose a few ships here and there, it didn't really bother us, we knew what we were getting into. But then again, every day we would see these pirates harassing everybody around us. We were just a couple of industrialists, we couldn't really do much about it, but we decided to fight back a little bit in our own unique way. My friend had this great idea about bringing in a very juicy target that these pirates would try to hunt down. So we decided to bring in a mining barge of all the ships. So we slapped on a cloaking device as well as some other equipment that pirates love to hate, and we undocked. Basically, the idea was for us to warp into random asteroid belts and mine. And we would pretend to be these newbie industrialist miners being blinded by all the rare low-sec ore that we're seeing here, not worrying about personal security whatsoever. We would try to be discovered on the pirate scanners as much as possible. Of course we had scanners of our own, and the moment they would get close to us, we would simply cloak up. And it was really fun playing this cat and mouse game, watching the pirates warp from one asteroid belt to the other, to another, to another, just trying to find us in vain. And they would set up all these elaborate traps and try to camp the gates out of the system. In the meantime, we're just warping back and forth, cloaking up, and watching all the fun unfold. At first, we didn't expect to survive for longer than 10-20 minutes tops, but actually I still have the same ship from 4 years ago, being ducted the exact same system. We were a couple of industrialists just starting out, so we couldn't really fight back conventionally. But I gotta admit, it was kind of fun watching the frustration shift from one side to the other. Usually it's the pirates' victims that are frustrated not being able to fight back properly. This time it was the pirates. We knew we couldn't beat them in their own game, so we mixed things up a little bit. That's EVE Online for you.
And we're back.
Thanks
Nice.
for
Yeah.
playing that. Appreciate the exposure. Thank you.
Yeah, I actually was just watching it quickly watching it because I didn't know how long it would be till it caught up on feed. But yeah, that's pretty funny, man.
Oh yeah, we had a blast.
Nice. So cool. Yeah, going back to what we were saying, exploration. I'm not so big on it, but like I said, I know it's an easy task. Why is it that you do it? And Gentleman Gamer, you also do it too, so you can chime in as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What's the appeal? What's the drive for doing this?
Well, Well, for me, it was I didn't touch scanning when I first started playing. I was terrible at it, so I did not touch it for like I don't know, like a year and a half into me playing because I did so bad at it. Um, and at some point, I retried it again. I figured out what I was doing wrong, and most of the appeal for me for exploration is is well, not in high sec. High sec is boring, and you get like no money for it. But in low sec and like low class wormholes and null sec, it brings a lot of ISK, and it's a non PvP way or not well non
I wouldn't
PvP.
I
You don't
wouldn't
get
say
much money for
that.
PvP. Well, it's you're not doing the PvP most of the time.
You
You're
might be the,
evading.
the butt end of the PvP though.
Right, right. It's more of the you're not actually fighting people. It's like you're still PvEing, um, but it's pretty good ISK, and I do like the cat and mouse game. You play with other people, especially in nullsec. People will start hunting you. You get on intel channels. You got to evade them. You got to pick your systems you want to jump into. It's a bit more methodical about planning routes and stuff like that. So that kind of stuff is very appealing.
Yeah, for me, when I first started playing the game, I actually had to manually move each probe in order to form a pattern.
Oh
So
God.
yeah, at first I really did not like scanning, but then they got me back with the Odyssey trailer, and since then I realized just how much ISK you can really make, especially if you get into nullsec. And then I guess the thrill is actually getting away with all the ISK
Oh
alive.
yeah. Oh yeah. It's a bit of a rush because you're in a 20 mil frigate, maybe a 70 mil if you're in a Astero, and you're hauling like 100 mil, 150 mil in your cargo hold.
Yeah, and then you get into a war bubble, and oh my God, what do you do now?
You pee yourself a bit, and or you should burn out.
Oh
Nice.
yeah.
All right. So before we go too far into that, I just want to basically throw that little advertisement out there for you, Reload. But let's just finish up real quick on some player news, and then we'll roll into that whole thing as a spotlight. So there was a chronicle that came out today, and there was actually two news stories, and I was trying to find out if those news stories were interrelated. But one news story that was on the um, dev blog was numerous staff were quarantined aboard an orbital elevator in Mutu, basically at the Freedom Extension station. They were placed on quarantine on the orbital platform for some reason. Several cities of the planet were also affected. And then the Zainu-owned medical center was sealed off, and that was in the southern districts of Mersica, the largest city on Owajin 2, wherever that is. And they did not know the source of the of that, but those two little pieces of news, it's just kind of odd that those came out, and then we had a that piece of lore, but they did not actually intertwine.
Right now, the that sickness is being the topic for the last three little updates in the lore, 3 or 4.
Okay, yeah.
The last one they put up was the astral mining facility that lost communications, and we don't know what's going on there,
Interesting.
and we're not sure if they're related or not.
Yeah, I don't know.
There was
Ooh.
hints of the storyline that's perhaps starting right now, continuing on forward towards FanFest, and this might be like the the headwaters of that storyline.
Yeah, you're talking about the chronicle that came out?
No, this
Or just the
this
backstory?
infection backstory.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Well, I'm wondering if that had anything to do in the chronicle of the they were talking about how Project Discovery was almost kind of like a front for testing drifter tissue samples.
Yeah, I think at this point it is pretty much confirmed, right? They were talking
Yeah.
about that splinter group of the SOE from Thera that were talking about what they were doing.
Yeah.
It's always been shady, super shady.
So shady. Like they're like the shadiest group out of all of them.
Oh, we're
Yeah,
just gonna set up
so
these stations in there, not tell anyone. Oh,
Exactly.
oh.
Like we don't even know how they got them in there. Like how do they move them in there?
Oh, there was an accident, and now you found Thera.
Yeah, about that.
We've always been here. Don't check the logs. Don't check our tax
Yeah,
returns.
and like all the wrecks you see from the prior stations they had there are all named like testing this or biological samples that, and who knows what they were doing.
Yeah.
And we have the Thucker tribe mixed in with it because we find that that supercarrier wreck from the
Yeah.
Isogen 5 incident. What was it called? I
yeah,
forget the name of it right now, but the wreck is in there.
And it was
The
mentioned of the
Thucker tribe
Thucker.
seems to be kind of everywhere, though, even with drifters.
Oh yeah. They're intermixed because they're very nomadic in the Great Wildlands. So they have their nose into a lot of things.
interesting. Yeah, so they talked about that, and then they talked about Project Ascension, which obviously ties into the Ascension release. So it's talking about new. They were talking about new alpha clones and how they wanted to
Right.
start the next level of the project. And they mentioned two things. One was called Offspring Cepheus and Darkness Visible. And that was like at the very end of the chronicle.
God, what the
So
hell are they
man,
doing?
yo, there's some stuff that's just
Well,
it's
Shady.
yeah, and we have the drifters attacking these facilities, right?
do that.
That was part of the lore too, right?
I didn't. Maybe I skimmed past that. I did my speed reading.
I'm trying to think if I remember that properly. If they were attacking cloning facilities as well.
I don't think I read that in this one.
Well, not that chronicle. I mean the updates, the
Oh,
little mini updates are reading up to this.
oh yeah, I don't doubt it.
Right, because if this is from the drifter tech, then I'm assuming the drifters don't want this being used.
Right, obviously. And so I was trying to be all tinfoily and looking up what offspring Cepheus might mean. And all that I know is that Cepheus is a crowned king in royal robes. Uh, he's the husband of Cassiopeia, and their daughter is Andromeda. So there's some weird lore in there. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to have anything to do with anything. I just thought I'd look it up.
That's weird. It is weird. Really weird.
I think I have the launch codes here for the lower roundtable. We must push them and make them assemble.
Yeah, fair realism.
Come on, guys.
Anywho's it's
We don't know shit. We need your help.
so one fun thing that I did want to mention though, you know how I was talking earlier how I've been like I'll go for like an hour at least once a week in the help channels and lend my voice,
Because
lend
you
my
hate
words.
yourself. Go on.
Yes, I just absolutely myself. So there was somebody in there who was like, I need a GM now. And everyone was like, yeah, like, okay, like who doesn't need a GM right now? All right. So I was like, what's your problem? And he was saying that there was a high sec gate camp. He didn't say where these guys were set up in a high sec location. They had the whole system cornered off, and Concord was, was engaging them for criminal activities, but they weren't doing any DPS. So they had a whole system cornered off, and anytime somebody popped in, they were just popping them, and Concord wasn't doing any damage to them.
Sounds more like code ganking.
Yeah, well, I mean,
It sure didn't happen.
he was specifically saying it was an exploit, and he wasn't a newer character, so I don't think he was just worried about code. I mean, he said that there was a no shit gate camp happening there, and for 20 minutes he was watching Concord shoot back at these provoking or the aggressors, and no damage.
Could have been a war deck.
I don't know, but that'd be interesting to know if there's an exploit that's been taken advantage of.
That would be interesting. I mean, after so many years in the game, if there's still an exploit against Concord, that would be very spectacular, actually.
There's one where you can keep it occupied elsewhere in system, but that'll get you banned as well, I think.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Any interference with Concord is the ban hammer. Man, I've got to take these glasses off. They're jacking up my brain right now.
But they look so fabulous.
God, they're so pink. Everything is just so white right now. Anywho, I don't know. Anybody else got some Eve news they want to talk about before we roll on into the spotlight?
Let me check my notes.
You do that. You check those notes.
Yeah, no, it seemed like an interesting week. I mean, the biggest news of this week, obviously, is going to develop tomorrow onwards, is the CSM minutes. But I got a good, fair chunk of the way through it on the bus, half drunk, riding, trying to read through the jiggle. But a lot of the big stuff in there seems to be held back for development blogs that are going to fully go into all the details. The biggest ones obviously being the Team Phenomenon blog and the Drilling Platforms blog.
Yeah, and they just put recipes in there instead.
Yeah, which were amusing, but man, I want to get some details on those two features. There was some talk around whether or not to use the mining AI, the response AI, for other parts of the NPE, which was an important feature that the CSM was pushing for development on, which I agree is an important part of the game that really needs some development attention. But I wanted to take your opinions on how you felt the mining NPC AI is working out, and whether it would be a good implementation into other parts of the PvE.
Oh yeah, definitely. We would definitely need more NPCs who act more like players and that are counterable by actual modules in the game. Currently, a lot of the mission rats and even the belt rats, they just have HP. You orbit them, you have enough DPS or you don't, and that's it, right? So, I think if you have obviously in high sec, you probably make it easier. But if you go into null, when you try to rat in a belt, they might be fleets, and you need like another fleet to counteract them and destroy them, take their bounties and the loot. I think in general, might make the game better.
Yeah, I'm totally a big fan of that, and that's one of those things that I brought up on many occasions. Personally, believe it or not, I've never actually encountered any of the NPC miners, but then again, I haven't been doing a lot of mining, so.
Oh, I have. Don't mess with them unless you're ready.
Yeah, but from what I understand and from the videos that I've seen on YouTube, they are a force to be reckoned with for sure. And
Yeah.
I wish they would definitely use that AI for more.
And they've calmed them down a bit in high sec now, depending on the security level. If it's a higher security level, you most likely get frigates as a response fleet, which is more manageable. Before I did that, sometimes you just get battleships and they wreck you, which was terrible. But now it depends on security level how hard the response fleet will be.
But at least
Yeah,
it's now good to see some NPCs in the belts that are actually doing something related to belts as opposed to just sitting around there.
Right.
and yeah, like you've seen them for years. Like when you're flying about, like especially in Jeddah and stuff like that, you'll see the convoys and traders. So there's definitely a place for a story behind that, and maybe you can follow them all the way from Jeddah to wherever they're going in null sec, low sec, and maybe eventually you might grab yourself up a freighter.
That'd be great, actually, if you could follow those ships around.
Yeah, I mean, just follow him gate to gate until he's in no man's land, and start trying to tackle him. Then, oh, he likes a Sino. He's got a friend there. Here's a Sino, and
Oh, that would be delicious.
please,
Please do that.
I think, though, as more of a PvP, or like I would say, Eve is more of a social game where you have to rely on other people to make content for you. That's why this sort of a PvE content is a little bit lacking, in my opinion.
Well, it can never replace or fully replace a human interaction, but I think what they're hoping to go for is a more realistic or more training experience that will prepare you for interaction with real players. But
Yeah.
But the real question I want to really dig at is, do you think the mining AI is is doing a good job of developing towards something we want to see in all of our PvE content, or is currently it built too challenging, too difficult, too thought intensive, where the cathartic kind of let's just do level 4s or let's just run nullsec anomalies is really easy and simple to do. Not a lot of strain on your brain. Whereas fighting those freaking NPCs is like high stress. Get all your guys on grid. Okay, fleet warp here. Let's do this.
Well, it's kind of a bit of both, right? I mean, missions are getting kind of stale. We know exactly what to expect, what to bring, what to do. So it becomes quite a grind that you don't really want to go through. But at the same time, I haven't actually fought the new NPCs yet because they are too tough. You really have to bring a good fleet with you in order to fight them. So if they scale them down but still keep the EI, that'd be great in my opinion.
Yeah, I think if they can definitely scale the difficulty depending on what level mission it is, but just having the NPCs actually use the modules that in the game, like if they have like a micro warp driving frigate and they're trying to destroy you, if you bring a warp scrambler, you can turn off its micro warp drive, stuff like that. It just makes more sense because right now this all the NPCs and all those missions don't follow the same rules at all.
Oh no, they're just dumb NPCs, right? For you to harvest.
Yeah, exactly. And half the time, when I did level 4s, at some point I got so good at them, I just put a micro jump drive on my Dominics. I jump 100k out and snipe them, and you just kind of sit there, wait till they die, and then you move on to the next room.
Yeah, they'll never fleet warp off. They'll never try to pull
No,
range.
nothing. They won't respond. If you bring more friends, they don't get harder. Like it doesn't. It's like the dumbest pirates ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense if you're fighting the drones, right? I mean, yeah, they're supposed to be kind of dumb AI, but if you're fighting the factions, then you kind of expect a little bit of a smarter response from them.
Right, something. Like if you bring, like, let's say you're doing level 4s and you bring 3 friends with battleships, it should be harder.
Oh, for sure, yeah, as opposed to just doing it solo, right?
Well, right. If it's solo, then you have like a certain like NPC response to you and what ship you have and stuff like that. But it doesn't react to you at all. It's very static. You warp in, the same thing happens every single time, and it gets. I stopped doing them. It's just boring.
So it's tangentially related, but one new feature that's coming into the patch tomorrow, which probably won't have a large effect on any of our particular gameplay styles, but could have an influence on part of the narrative towards more realistic NPCs, is that tracking and guidance disruptors now work on NPCs and fighters.
Really?
Ooh.
Wait, like all of them?
Mm-hmm. And NPC tracking and guidance disruptors will now respect the weapon disruption resistance.
Interesting.
That's kind of an interesting
Yeah,
balance now, yeah.
I didn't know that at all. That's great.
Yeah, that's for tomorrow's patch.
Sweet. All right, so I think it's about the time we want to start moving into that spotlight, huh?
Let's go into the light.
Birds.
The spotlight of the week.
Is this a scam?
Oh my goodness, triggered.
Scared me, man.
And that always scares everyone. I think it's because the Mike Azariah is just such a daunting voice.
Yeah,
So
that must be it.
So, anyways, like we alluded to several times during the beginning part of the show, we're going to be talking about some exploration. So, some of the things that I wanted to hit up and ask you guys about is, all right, barrier to entry, how to get started, corps that help in exploring, and some fits. So, as far as barrier to entry, we've already kind of hit on that. It's pretty easy for new players. Like, what do you got to do just to get started?
Well, I actually made a video not too long ago. It's a shameless plug here, I suppose. But I used an alpha clone character and maxed it out with everything I could with exploration. And I could do null sec sites, no problem. So really, you don't need much at all.
No, Alpha Guides has some awesome exploration fits for the alpha players.
Yeah. So what are those things that you'll need to get yourself started? What's the basic ship, and what are some skills you want to look at?
Well, as an alpha clone, I mean, you can only do one frigate. I should say one race, right? So you're limited to whatever race you picked. So for Galanti, it's going to be an Imicus. For Kaldar, it's going to be, I believe it's a Heron. For, I don't even remember what they're called for the Minotaur and the MR, but it's only one T1 frigate that you can use. Go ahead, gentlemen. Gamer, do you remember
Yeah,
the
the
names?
Minotaur is Probe, and the Mar
Yeah.
is Magnate, which is way prettier than the rest of them. So.
Oh yeah, it's the prettiest ship for sure.
Oh, the Imicus is ugly.
Oh, it's so ugly. You know what?
It's so bad.
I do use the Imicus a lot because of the spot, the slot layout actually, but I do prefer to use the Anathema, which it looks like the magnet.
Yeah,
It's
that's
beautiful.
that's the Tech 2, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
I'm using one right now. Matter of fact.
Nice.
Nice.
But yeah, as for skills, you kind of just max out whatever your alpha clone can do. It's really a no-brainer. Just take a look at what you can train and train it up to the max level. And then you just fit your data analyzer, your relic analyzer. It doesn't really matter what you fit in your low. Some people would like to fit the warp core stabilizers to escape the pyres, but you know, it really doesn't matter because the ships are so cheap. And in the high slots, you can't use the cloak, but that's not a problem either. People really think that you have to rely on cloak, but if anything, without the cloak, it makes you better at evading people in local.
Yeah.
The real challenge of newbie exploration is not the skills per se; it's the learning how to be a good explorer.
Right. Yeah. Especially if you dip into low, trying to avoid gate camps, use your map to see active systems or not. Um, Avoiding the worst systems like Tama or something, stuff like that. Not warping gate to gate.
It never sits still.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. Yep. Never sit still, always use D-scan, always check local, all those rules.
Remember, they're just pixels if you lose a ship.
Yeah, exactly. People get so upset about losing their, 2 million ISK ship, but really, it's not that much at all.
And you have to fit warp core stabilizers to rub salt in Rick Travis's.
Yeah, you're gonna be triggering Rick so hard. But
Obviously.
actually, the bad thing about fitting the warp core stabilizer is that it limits your targeting range, and that kind of limits your gameplay as well. So you do really want to have your targeting range as max as possible. That way, you can target those cans, start orbiting around them, and start hacking at them.
Yeah, that is a cost with the warp core stabs, is that you can't target as far. But I see a lot of people use them, especially on the magnet because it has 4 lows. So if you need like 2 scrams to stop them.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. So one thing I don't know for sure because the way that I learned how to do scanning was literally watching YouTube videos. So is there something in game that teaches you how to scan, or is it pretty much you either can figure it out or you don't?
Nothing in game really helped me. So, but I haven't done the PVE, newest PVE. So I'm not sure if it changed, but nothing in game helped me.
You know what? Currently, the newest PvE does not tell you how to do that either. So you're kind of on your own. It's tough for me to judge because I did start the game about 6 years ago, and I learned from, like I said, when you manually had to move each probe, and it kind of went on from there. But yeah, currently, I would say there really is a need to have an in-game tutorial on how to properly scan.
Yeah. Do you
So
think there should? Go ahead.
within the F12 menu, there is tutorial videos on exploration for scanning, 3 different videos, wormholes, how to hack relic and data sites, and product discovery.
You're talking about in the Flight Academy?
Yeah.
How do you get through the help tab? You get those?
Yeah,
Yeah.
F12 within your
Yeah,
character.
they got to make those more visible. I didn't know they were there.
Exactly.
sure.
I mean, I didn't know
news
that
to
shit
me.
was there.
They should
Yeah,
be
it's
probably
kinda-
attached to the MPE or to career agents.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this kind of stuff really should be way more like, because it's like it opens up so much of the game that you wouldn't know existed unless you actually try it. So they really should put in your face a bit.
You know what wouldn't be a hard way to integrate that, I think, would be to actually have stations here and there that are actually called like flight academy stations, and the agents there I don't know, could guide you to those videos. And then you go, oh, I mean, that's how you do that. Or, oh, I didn't even know that was a thing. Like, PI is not something that's taught in game. Moon mining is not something that's taught in game, you know?
No,
That's
do
a very
PI.
good point about the PI. I mean, PI is mostly a solo activity, so you kind of would expect newer Omega players to be interested in it. Moon mining, though, is more of a corp activity, I would say. So you kind of learn from word of mouth, right?
Yeah,
Right.
I think the moon control is pretty much a corporate alliance thing, and you quickly learn if you try to set it up yourself, you get kicked out.
Yeah, I've actually attempted moon mining myself, and it's not an easy activity.
Yeah, so and plus I think they're changing it with that drilling platform stuff. So
And do you know how I figured out how to do that moon mining? Watching YouTube videos and reading blogs. Seriously, that's how I did it. I just looked
it
up
just a lot
information.
of Eve ends up you watching YouTube videos or reading blogs. That's what it
Yeah.
seems.
Well,
So
personally, I kind of like that. I mean, I also learned from YouTube videos, and now it's kind of my hobby to make YouTube videos as well. So, like I was saying, the CCP leaves the gaps kind of for the player base to fill with these sort of tutorials.
all right, cool. So the new changes that are coming up here in the next coming weeks, what do you guys think of those? Is that going to be helpful for newer players, or is it just something that older players have been looking for years, and you're just like, oh, thank God it's finally here?
You know, personally, I would say the double click in a window to make it go top side to side. That is the most thing I'm looking forward to because usually that's the only two ways I look at the probes. But overall, there's a lot of like quality of life improvements, I would say. I don't know if it will really help out newer players though, not at this point.
Well, I think there was something definitely missing with the strength of your scanner and how efficient your scanner is, being left out of any visual UI. That change coming to the rope scanning window, I think, is
that's
super critical.
awesome. That's so awesome. That kind of stuff. And they said that at some point, like when you scan like 25%, it tells you how hard the site is to scan down. So you know if it's your skills or you just suck at moving your probes around. Like that would be huge. If they had that when I first started, I wouldn't have been so frustrated.
Yeah, 2 hours later, still getting that 99.9, but not 100.
Even worse. So you go from 99 to like 80 and you don't know why.
Yeah, but you don't know what you're doing wrong, right?
Oh my God. Oh, so infuriating.
You're
Use the
stacking
ghost
your
sites.
probes,
Yeah.
unstacking your probes,
Oh,
like
man.
minus the little tiny, like minimal overlap, you know?
That's pretty much what I do now for all the sleeper sites.
Did they confirm that they're going to change the icons for all the different types of scannable sites, wormholes, gas sites?
I think,
Yeah.
yes, I think so.
Yeah, they're going to be different sites for belts, different symbols for gas, different symbols for all that stuff.
And are those going to show up on your first scan or once you get it down to
20,
confirmed?
25%.
Yeah, so you have to do some work first.
Work.
I mean, 25% is that much. That's maybe two spins of the dial, you know?
For sure.
Yeah,
If you're
that's not
good.
that bad.
Depends on your skills that might even pop up just by being in the area.
Yeah, right. Yeah. All right. So, as far as corporations go, I mean, we know obviously some of the bigger ones. You're looking at Signal Cartel, Brave Newbies. What are some other like solely exploration stuff where new players can get in and be like, hey, I want to do this exploration stuff. What is there that they can do?
Well, there's a few corps that take new players in general. There's Brave Newbies, there's Karma Fleet, Pandemic Horde. I think Test started one as well. I can't think of the name off my head. Brand Newbies, maybe. I don't know. Look it up, I guess. But they take people in general, like new players in general. And one of the ways they tell them make money is exploration. Signal Cartel is another group, but they don't do PvP at all. It's only for self defense. So if you like that kind of stuff, then that's a good place to go to. I'm trying to think of any other ones off my head. I can't think of any. Eve University. I'm assuming they do scanning stuff too. So
yeah, they do. You know, that brings up another good thing is the Eve University classes. Those are always good for learning the things.
the thing about scanning and exploration is it's really just a jumping off point to being an effective member of a null or wormhole corporation. Because if you're a small group, as I've learned in the last couple weeks, scanning down your local constellation or the within 5 jumps of your home system is super important to find A, if people are going to jump through that wormhole and come gank you, B, can I throw a deep space transport through that hole to get back to high sec to sell my junk, or C, maybe I can find a hole that jumps to another piece of low sec or null sec where I can go roam and create a little bit of havoc that's not going to have any political consequences on my local little ecosystem.
And some corps pay for you to scan down the wormhole chains.
Yeah, true. So you want to know how to like really learn how to scan in a quickness? Go ahead and get yourself lost in a wormhole and start figuring it out, because that's pretty much how I learned to do it. Was someone had yeah, no, seriously, someone invited me into a wormhole, and he was like, "All right, man, well, I gotta go, and you got probes, right?" Yeah,
Gotta like sink or swim, right?
yeah, that's honestly how it happened, and
Good for him.
I was
He
in
pushed you over
that
the edge.
I was in that wormhole for about a month.
Oh man.
I
Wow.
mean, I guess looking in hindsight, I could have just, took the Pod Express, but I was like, no, I don't want to lose my ship, so I figured it out.
My first discovery of a wormhole was me landing on a sleeper site and then getting alphaed by a sleeper turret.
Classic. Very classic.
Ooh, that's pretty. Boom.
Yeah, people don't realize that sleeper sites actually have almost insta-locking turrets. Some of
Oh
them.
yeah. They're very pretty too.
Oh yeah, the explosions are very nice too.
Well, that's what happens with shiny things. They get you right in there and kill
But
you.
actually, you guys bring up a very interesting point, is that we're only talking about exploration here in terms of scanning, but there's also combat scanning that's quite useful if you're really trying to find somebody in lower null. And I
Oh
wonder if
yeah.
these changes will actually, be also applicable to combat scanning.
Oh, it definitely will, because it tells you your base strength and everything. So, oh yeah, would help with that too.
And that's the thing, like I could scan PvE sites no problem in under a minute, but trying to find a ship especially in a high-sec system, ooh, that's tough.
You know what's a fun practice for that? If you've got your combat probes, you can go into like rookie starter systems and scan down drones that people left behind.
Oh yeah.
That's
I used to
that's
do
how it.
that going to main like level 4 mission hubs, and there's so many drones just littering
Oh
the
yeah.
place.
Oh yeah. I got a couple geckos that way.
Oh
Yeah,
man, really?
people
That's
always
nice.
forget those.
Yeah. They're probably mine that I left somewhere a couple years ago, anyways.
Well, it's kind of like a take a penny, leave a penny thing system, right?
Right?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Take a drone, leave a drone.
Yeah.
Take a drone, leave a drone. They become rogue drones, become sites.
Become
Uh,
content.
Exactly. Great wheel of
wouldn't that
life.
be neat? Is if that's what happens if you left a drone out, it actually like became a rogue drone.
They should make it happen instead of this like 1.5 hour thing where they just disappear, right?
Where did it go?
Join the hive.
Nice.
Yeah, one really cool part about exploration, in my opinion, is that the end game of exploration, even though the basics are very simple, and the relic and data sites are very simple, and they're good cash cow, and even as you get into the middle of the gameplay, like finding wormholes, exploring wormholes, finding combat sites, finding the exploration kind of dead 7 to 10 to 10 out of 10 sites, that's all very well and good. But once you get into the really high end where you're combat probing, where you're finding ships on D-scan and using your probes in conjunction with them to make quick assessments of where your opponents are, and then finding them directly in space, or finding a wormhole chain that takes you deep into some hostile space,